It's Freddy Leckums here, keeping it casual today with the hoodie. If you don't know me, my friend's life, my best friend's life, Collier, was changed completely when he met the right dentist and he got an orthodontic treatment, he got braces, and basically just changed his life completely for the better. He became more confident. Honestly, everything he did, he put a lot more effort in now that he was more confident in his looks, he was more confident in himself. It just boosted his life in an upward trajectory. And now I want to work with as many dental practices, dental offices as possible, in hopes that they'll help patients like Collier change their lives for the better. So that's my mission, that's my little mission. And for today's video, I'm going to be going over exactly how to market your dental office, your dental practice, to make sure that you get the patients you want to get through the door, right? And you can help as many patients as possible. Excuse me, I had something in my eye. So basically, this video is going to be split into three parts. The first part is the introduction to boutique marketing. The second part is details on what a boutique shop is. I'm sure you guys know, of course, but how it relates to dental practices. And then thirdly is the practicality of that. What does it look like, in the practical sense? What does it actually look like if you apply this? So firstly, little introduction to the boutique shops and what boutique marketing is. So a recent example I was listening to in a podcast about local businesses was Dan Kennedy talk about how 10 to 40% of people are more likely to pay for something that they deem as personal, something that they see as personalized, something they perceive as more valuable because of price, right? But also it goes up to 80% for those people if they see it connected to a relationship they have. So the point of boutique marketing is genuinely, and at its core, it's to build relationships with everyone that walks through your door, right? If you look at some of the big dental offices and practices, without naming a name in the UK, it tends to be the ones in London or the ones in Manchester. But when people come through the door, there are so many patients and there's so many different surgeries and practices that people aren't being called by their first name. People aren't being given the special treatment that they were when they first joined. So the issue comes down to there being not enough rapport, not enough of a relationship built between these businesses, right? And the example again on local businesses, and I'll tie it back to dental offices and dental practices, is the difference between a shop that maintains its high price, right? A local shop, and then the difference between Walmart, where people who are price conscious, right, will be going to Walmart. But in this boutique shop, they're not looking for people who are price conscious. They're looking for people who care about relationships, who care about the personalization of certain products that they have. So in this case, what Dan Kennedy found was that the people who own these local boutiques, who own these local shops, they knew 85% of people by their first name. So can you imagine walking into Walmart? What they tell you is, "Hi, welcome to Walmart." Imagine walking into a boutique shop and they say, "Hi, Mark," or "Hi, Jessica, how are you doing today?" And they'll have a conversation about how your Friday went, how you went to the park with your kids and it was a really nice, Friday, it was lovely weather. That big difference, right, has been shown again with a study with Dan Kennedy that he did. I'm pretty sure it was 25 or 30% more was spent with boutique shops. So not only were their products more expensive, but more was spent with them because of the rapport, because of the relationships they had built with their customers. Now, the reason this is super important for dental offices and dental practices is because the more relationships you can build, and especially that you're in an industry where you're serving people, you're helping people directly, it tends to build a lot more trust. And with that trust, if you find an issue in their teeth or in their gums, you'll be able to give them or recommend them a treatment and they will jump to it straight away without hesitation. Now imagine if you hadn't built the trust and rapport with that person. They might not even consider it in the first place. They might not even go back to your practice. But building a relationship is what boutique marketing is all about. So on the second part, I'm going to kind of dive deeper into how this relates with dental practice and give concrete examples. So a concrete example would be when you first sign up to a practice, or when you book your first appointment there. Obviously, you give them the details of, my name is John Smith, I'm blah 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 this, I'm looking for this. The best way for John Smith to feel welcomed, and the best way for John Smith to feel like they care about him, is to genuinely care about him. If you send John Smith a personalized letter, and this doesn't take long, by the way, I can go into details on this, but it really does not take long to write a letter. You've got John Smith's address if he gave it to you. If not, that's absolutely fine. You have his number. You can send him a little message saying, hey, John Smith, super excited for you to join our practice. We love people like you. We do this, 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 and that. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ring up our receptionists, and they will be very helpful to you. Boom, John Smith received this in his post. He's like, wow, no way. Well, I don't have any questions, but this is awesome. I'm super excited to go to the dental practice now. Boom. And then the same thing can go for a text message, right? Of course, in the last video, I kind of emphasized reminders. Reminders are actually really good for building relationships as well, because subconsciously, most people believe that when they're reminded of something, it's because the person cares about that thing, and you do care about them becoming an appointment, right? So they'll feel like you care more about them as well if you send them reminders. But on text message, it can be a lot simpler. Just, hey, John Smith, it's, let's say me, it's Freddy here. I'm the dental therapist. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. That took 10 seconds of my time. But it's built a relationship, or it's enlightened a relationship with John that is going to give me back so much more, because I'm going to be able to give him so much more. So to reiterate the first 2 points, boutique marketing is about building relationships and building trust, right? As is all marketing, but in this case, it's with your local area. Secondly, this is really, really easy to do in dental offices and dental practices, because once the trust is built, you can help them more, because now you can recommend a treatment and they'll jump to it without hesitation. So thirdly, how this looks practically. I gave a few examples with letters and text messages, but here's the main workflow, I'd like to say. Workflow on how this is going to work and how incrementally you're going to build trust with more people and get to know more people. So first of all, it's going to be in the receptionist. Of course, I emphasize the receptionist a lot. It's the first point of contact with your dental office / dental practice. They are the bread and butter of every interaction you have before they go into the office or surgery itself, right? So the first thing is for the receptionist to be welcoming. It's for a receptionist to care more about serving the patient than actually booking them in. And then thirdly, it's for the receptionist to help them in any way possible, right? And remind them that, got your name, I know who you are, I look forward to seeing you on Monday. And just a little tip, if you do forget their name, you can just double check and ask. It's not that awkward. I've had people ask my name because it's Freddy, not Freddie, not Eddie. People get confused. So I've had people ask my name, the same person 3 or 4 times in a row. It doesn't bother me. It's not awkward. 99% of people aren't going to be bothered by you asking their name again if you forgot. A little tip I'd give to the receptionist is, even if they don't book an appointment in, you can just write their name down just to remember it. That way, next time you hear the voice, you remember the name, and they're more likely to book in. But once they do book in, then of course you have their information anyways. So secondly, the second part would be the reminders and the letter that I mentioned in the last video. So you can go back and watch it if you like. You can pause here, watch that video, then come back. And then thirdly, and this, in my opinion, is the powerhouse of the whole thing, is when they go in for either their treatment, their consultation, or any form, one-on-one with either the dentist, the hygienist, the therapist, the big thing, right? The big thing is to make sure you're treating them as a friend that needs help and you're consulting them about their problem. And that way, the whole process itself, where people feel like it's a lot more high pressure, right? Because people have this weird connotation with sales that you're pressuring someone to buy, you're making them buy, you're making them do this. But in this scenario, you're helping them. Your service, it changes people's lives for the better. So why wouldn't you recommend it to them? Why wouldn't you recommend them the more expensive treatment if you know it's going to be better for them in the long term, right? It's not just about making money in this scenario, it's about helping as many people as possible. So when they come in, form a relationship with them, give them an in-depth consultation, and then sell them the solution that they need. It's what they need. Don't be shy to ask for the credit card. Don't be shy to ask for don't be shy to ask for the treatment. Don't be shy to say, by the way, we completely understand that you don't want to be spending the next 6 months, 12 months, even 2 years of your life with braces on. We understand that in your job it gets quite difficult, doesn't it, Sarah? And Sarah's like, yeah, it does, yeah. So you see, in the first place, I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't asking Sarah questions and getting to know her. So Sarah, when did you say that promotion was coming up? Oh, in 3 months. Okay, in 3 months. And do you feel like your confidence would be hindered quite a lot if you were to wear braces? And I mean, of course, I would say, let yourself be confident, but of course there are going to be some days where you're going to wake up and you're not going to be as confident. And Sarah's going to be like, yeah, to be honest, it gets quite tough. People at the office are really serious, This is an exec job I could be getting. So, Sarah, in this case, I highly recommend the Invisalign treatment. And it's a lot more expensive, but in your case, I think this is going to benefit you really well in the long term, and you're not going to have to wear it for as long. But also, they're invisible, right? That's the whole point of Invisalign. So I genuinely think this is going to help you, Sarah. Do you want me to show you our ranges? You see, in any other scenario, if I wasn't trying to help Sarah, this would be seen as pushy, right? In the first place, if I wasn't trying to help Sarah, I wouldn't know all this information about her, because I wouldn't be trying to help her, I wouldn't care about her. I would have just been like, yeah, so Sarah, I think Invisalign would work best for you. She'd be like, oh, how come? She'd say, Invisalign's the best. I mean, it works for everyone. If I were you, I'd get it. It's a lot more expensive, but it's worth it. You see the difference? Sarah's not going to feel as connected, right? She's going to feel the same way she feels at every other dental practice that tells her to do something without explaining the real benefits in her personal life. The point is, you build enough rapport in a relationship where your treatments are connected to their personal life. You can sell more in a good way because they know they need it. You can be more confident during your treatments. And then finally, you can genuinely go to bed at night knowing that the person needed it, agreed to it, and was happy with it, right? So, to round off the video, the first thing on boutique marketing is building a relationship. The second part on how it relates to dental offices is building that relationship to be able to help them more, right? And I went through the workflow part by part as well, sending a letter, the reminders, and then finally, it's practically what that looks like and how it can help more patients, how it can help more people, but how it helps you in turn, right? You give 80%, you get 20%. You give 80%, you get 20%. But that 20% is going to be a lot richer, right? A lot more, a lot better for you than if you were to take 80% and then give 20%. Because that 80% isn't actually 80% in terms of like figures, and it's just the amount you take, the amount of times you take. If you take 80% of the time, you're only going to get back 20. So, if you need help, well, I say need help. If you're wanting to shortcut all of this and have me implement it for you, And if you're looking to work with more patients, and you can take on more patients, especially cosmetic patients, then feel free to press the link, the top link in my description. If not, that's absolutely fine. It's not, a PDF, a how-to guide. It is a video trying to sell you something. I'm not trying to trap you to it. So go ahead to it, check out if you really want. And then to round off the video again, 3 main things: build rapport, build trust, sell. If you like the video, there's a little button, looks like this, or it might be the other way around. It looks like one of these. Pop it if you like the video. Leave me a comment on what I should focus on next time if you have any ideas. That would be amazing. Give me time to do a bit of research and then make the video for you. And then lastly, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I mean, they're literally just videos on how to scale your practice, how to make more money with your practice, and how to help more patients at the end of the day, because that's what I believe in. But thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourself. Have a lovely, lovely weekend, week, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. See you soon.